Hi, and welcome back to the mini farm. Today, I'm going to show you how to can chicken on the bone. These are great to have on hand for a quick meal that tastes like you spent all day cooking it. So if you want to see how to can chicken on the bone, then just keep watching. But first, please give this video a thumbs up if you like videos like this, and click the red subscribe button below. If it's already gray, thank you so much for being here. I love having you here, and I really enjoy our chats in the comment section. Without further ado, here's how to can chicken drumsticks on the bone. I'm using about 3.5 pounds of chicken legs. I got a great deal on them this week. To get started, I'm going to line these in a baking dish because I'm going to roast them at 400 degrees for 20 minutes. Roasting them brings out this incredible flavor, and it looks better in the jar, and the consistency is much better too. What are you cooking up back there?
The steak that didn't fit.
Let's wash my hands real quick. And all we're gonna do for this is just salt them. We're not adding anything else just yet. Okay, I'm gonna put this in a 400-degree oven for 20 minutes. I let them cool enough for me to be able to handle them properly. And then I picked out the two smallest ones and put them aside because I want to put those in last. I put the two fattest ones in first, meat side down, and then I put in the other two bone side down so they can fit in just nicely, and then the smallest one right there in the middle. Now I like straight wide mouth jars for this, so straight quart wide mouth jars. I didn't have them today. I actually was completely out. This is all I had on hand, so that's why I did them in this. They are much easier to get out of the other jars that are straight, but this was just as good. I like 5 per jar because we're a family of 5, and that way everybody gets 1 drumstick. If you are a smaller family or a larger family, pack them accordingly to fit your family's needs. That's what's great about canning your own stuff. So if I wanted a single portion, I probably would do 2 in a pint-sized wide mouth jar with lots of liquid in there too. Make sure you push it down in there because you don't want anything popping up over the broth, and you want 1 1/4 inch head space in this jar, which is just below that rim right there. So the little the lip that you have right there. So we're going to add some salt to this now. And all you need to can these is just salt and some water. You could also add broth if you want at this point, but it's really not necessary. They create their own rich gelatinous broth on their own, which is great for your joints and your skin and your hair. So I love doing it this way because it's not only flavorful, but it's also super healthy for you as well. So I'm going to top them off with some warm water. It had a little bit of stock in there too that I had left over, leaving the 1 1/4 inch headspace at the very end there. Make sure your food is covered. Then take a clean cloth or paper towel, wipe off the rim of the jar. You can dip the cloth in some vinegar, some white distilled vinegar, and clean that off that way if you feel like there's some kind of fat residue or anything on there, but otherwise you won't need the vinegar. And then put on brand new flats. The flats have to be new, but your rings can be used. So put on the flats and then tighten the rings finger tight, and they are ready for the canner. To get started, all I've done so far was just plug in the Nesco, and all I have in here is a riser in the bottom. You never want your canning jars to sit on the bottom of your canning pot. This is the same for a stovetop canner or a regular canner. And then I'm going to put my quarts on the outside here. If you use the smallmouth jars in this canner, just make sure they're not directly underneath this little button here. But I'm going to go ahead and do both pints and quarts at the same time. We're going to go ahead and pour 8 cups. This is a change from before. Before it was 4 cups, but we're going to pour 8 cups of water in the bottom. so that's 2 full quarts. Here's the second quart. And this is a hot pack, so I'm using warm water. You want to kind of, whatever the temperature of your jars are, you want to add that temperature of water. So you want to put cold jars in a cold canner with cool water, and hot jars in a warm canner with hot water. So now we're going to just close the lid, shift it over to close, and then make sure you are on exhaust. Then you're going to hit high. And then setting our timer, it is 75 minutes for bone-in meat, quart sized. Obviously, it's different for pint size, and it would be different if you had boneless meat. Here's a time chart on the screen, depending on what you're canning and what size it is. This is going to turn until it builds up enough pressure. Then it's going to give you an E10 symbol. Okay, we just hit E10. That took a solid 10-15 minutes, so sometimes it takes a little while to get up to temperature, especially if you use cool water. We're still in exhaust over here. So now we're going to wait for it to count down to E0 before we flip the knob over to airtight. Okay. It just beeped for me and went to E0. So now I'm going to set it to airtight. And the canning has begun. So now I'm just going to let it do its thing, and when it beeps for me, I'll come back and show you what I'm going to do. Okay, this just went to off. It beeped 3 times and then gave me the off symbol. Now I'm going to let this sit in here until the pin drops, this little red pin right here. Probably about an hour, actually. Let it completely cool off, slow release, give it a chance to kind of come back down to natural pressure, but on its own. And that way we will limit the siphoning that could happen if you release it very quickly. It's been an hour, so I'm going to go ahead and release it. Oh, well, it's already exhausted. Actually, I think the pin already dropped too, so you can see the pin drop in there. Let's go ahead and open it. I'm going to switch it to the open position and then lift it away from you. They are still bubbling in there. Look how hot they are. That's so pretty. I love jars that are just out of the canner. So we're going to put a towel down. You always want to put a towel down when you're taking out your jars because you want a cushiony area just for them to sit on. And using the rubbery end on the bottom and the hand grips on the top. The hand grips, can you show them the hand grips real quick? The hand grips are the black portion and these are the rubbery grips. This is the part that grips the jars. I think somebody in our group was using them backwards the other day. So just take them off. If you can see, they are still bubbling away, quite hot. Just let them cool all the way down. We're going to leave them here overnight while we run another batch of canning because we're going to can some broth now for a different video. If you're going to go ahead and run another batch of canning in that same canner, go ahead and dump out that hot water, rinse out the bowl, and then add fresh water after you add in your jars. Remember, you don't want to put cool jars in a hot canner because it could cause temperature shock on your glass. I hope you enjoyed canning with me today. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you haven't done so already, you can click on my face to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye!